Welcome back everyone. In this video I will be taking a look at 5 Wii Nunchucks that I bought on eBay for a total of £10.20. The items arrived in this bag with all the Nunchucks inside, and as you can see they are not looking in great condition. So let's take out all the Nunchucks one by one and examine the issues with them. So with all the Nunchucks now out of the bag, let's examine them one by one. So let's take a look at Nunchuck number 1. So the first issue is pretty obvious. The thumbstick is completely gone. No idea how this could occur, but it's completely gone. The Nunchuck itself is extremely dirty all around the shell and the wire too. Nunchuck number 2 is exactly the same. But I'm not exactly sure how the thumbstick got this bad. The Nunchuck is extremely dirty with marks, dirt and grime all around it, especially on the cable too. For Nunchuck number 3, the thumbstick is intact but is very dirty. The overall shell and wire is also extremely dirty too. Nunchuck number 4 has the same issues again. The thumbstick is completely destroyed, and the Nunchuck is extremely dirty around the shell and the wire. And finally, Nunchuck number 5, which has relatively the same issues as the other 4 Nunchucks. So now we know what the issues are, let's begin the restoration. So with all the Nunchucks on the blue mat, we're first going to focus our attention on just one of the Nunchucks. So first we need to turn the Nunchuck around and focus our attention on the 2 screw holes. Now to open up a Nunchuck we require a tri-wing screwdriver. Now using the tri-wing screwdriver we now unscrew the 2 tri-wing screws. To open the Nunchuck, there are 2 additional tabs at the top of the controller that need to be pressed to free both parts. Using a plastic splugger can really help with this process. Once freed, we can remove the top cover, giving us our first look inside the Nunchuck. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the broken thumbstick. Next, using a plastic splugger, we unclip the 2 tabs that are holding the PCB board down. With this, we can now remove the PCB board, which is held together with a plastic bracket. Next, we remove the bracket that holds the wires together. With that, we can now remove the board and the wires together out of the shell. We then remove the C and the Z buttons. So we're also going to clean the plastic bracket. So we're going to remove the rubber membranes and the small PCB board underneath it. And with that we can now separate the plastic bracket from the PCB boards. So with everything now disassembled, here are all the parts that make the Nunchuck. Now during the disassembly of all the Nunchucks, I then discovered without realising that one of the Nunchucks is actually a Chinese clone. With this being a Chinese clone, I'm going to separate this from the other Nunchucks. And here is a side-by-side comparison of an authentic Nunchuck next to a Chinese clone. So with all the parts now disassembled, we can really see how dirty and grimy all these parts are. So with that, we can now give all these parts a well-deserved wash. One by one, I wash all the parts, scrubbing away all the old dirt and grime that's built up over the years. And with the washing done, I now leave the parts to dry on a kitchen towel. And several hours later, with the parts now dried, I noticed that there are still some marks on the shells of the nunchucks. To remove these marks, I used some IPA and a cotton bud. Using IPA, I continue to clean all the buttons and shells once more just to make sure that all the parts are clean. Next, we focus our attention on the grubby wires. These wires are very dirty and one by one we need to clean them. Using IPA and a kitchen towel, I soak the kitchen towel and then thread the wire through the kitchen towel. And here is an example of how much dirt is collected by doing this method. I also take the time to clean the connector too, which is also very dirty. And while not perfect, here is a side-by-side comparison of a dirty wire next to a much cleaner wire using IPA. And after several hours, here are the results. While not perfect, it is a lot better than what it was before. Next, I focus on cleaning the main board to the nunchucks, using IPA to clean all the dirt and grime that's built up over the years. And finally, the last thing to clean is the rubber contacts. And with everything now clean, now it's time for the reassembly. And with one of the nunchuck controllers now fully reassembled, now it's time to reassemble the other three. One by one, each nunchuck is reassembled. And with all of them now reassembled, let's see the final results. And here is a fully restored Nintendo Wii Nunchuck, fully cleaned and restored back to its former glory. So let's plug the Nunchuck into a Wii U controller and let's play some games with it to see if it fully works. Using Wii Fit U as a test, I navigated the menus with the joystick on the Nunchuck and also played one of the games such as boxing to test if the nunchuck is working, and it does. So 4 original Wii nunchucks have now fully been restored. Thank you so much for watching this video, and bye for now.